Solutions chapter part 3. In part 2 I discussed about different concentration terms. In my next video I'll be giving the numericals and we'll discuss the different relationship between different concentration terms. In this video I'll be taking up solubility of gases in liquids. It is obvious that gas is the solute and liquid is the solvent. All gases are soluble in water as well as in other liquids to a greater or lesser extent. The solubility of a gas in a liquid is expressed in terms of absorption coefficient, which is denoted by alpha, or molarity, denoted as capital M, or mole fraction, which is denoted as capital X. Now, how do we define absorption coefficient? Absorption coefficient is defined as the volume of the gas in ml at STP that can dissolve in unit volume of the liquid to form a saturated solution at a given temperature and 1 atmosphere pressure. So, according to the definition of absorption coefficient, alpha can be given as, or absorption coefficient can be given as, where V is the, small v is the volume of gas dissolved, capital V is the volume of liquid, capital P is the pressure in atmosphere. So if V, capital V becomes 1 means 1 ml, and capital P 1 atmosphere, then alpha becomes equal to V. So it can be, so absorption coefficient can be defined as the volume of the gas dissolved at STP for in 1 ml of the liquid and at 1 atmospheric pressure at a given temperature. Molarity and mole fraction is already known to you, which I had discussed in my last video. Now, factors affecting the solubility of gases in liquids. In this, the first factor which affects is the nature of gas and liquid, where gas is the solute and liquid is the solvent. We know oxygen, nitrogen are less soluble in water, whereas carbon dioxide, ammonia, HCl, etc. are more soluble in water due to compound formation or dissociation. CO2 forms carbonic acid, ammonia gives ammonium hydroxide, HCl gives the corresponding ions. It is also found that oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide are more soluble in ethyl alcohol. This is in water. Whereas NH3 or ammonia and HCl are less soluble in ethyl alcohol. So it is concluded that if there is chemical similarity between the gas and the liquid, then the gas is more soluble in the given liquid. That means the gas and the liquid should be chemically similar. It is also found that the gases which are easily liquefied are more soluble. The second factor which affects is temperature. It is already known to us that solubility decreases with increase in temperature. Here I would like to emphasize on, we are discussing the solubility of gases in liquids. So solubility of a gas decreases with increase in temperature. It is already known to us that on heating gases are expelled. With few exceptions, solubility of sparingly soluble gases like hydrogen and few inert gases increases slightly with increase of temperature in non-aqueous solvents like alcohols and acetone. That is, the solubility of hydrogen and inert gases increase slightly with increase of temperature in non-aqueous solvents. Non-aqueous solvents like hydrocarbons, alcohols and acetone, etc. The third factor is pressure. While explaining the effect of pressure on the solubility of gases in liquids, we'll be taking up Henry's law. So according to Henry's law, the mass of a gas dissolved in a given volume of the liquid at constant temperature is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas present in equilibrium with the liquid. So, the mass is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas which is present in equilibrium with the liquid. Or we can write M is equal to Kh into P, where small m is the mass of the gas dissolved in a unit volume of the solvent. P is the pressure of the gas in equilibrium with the solvent. Kh is the Henry's law constant. This is the formula which is to be used for the numericals of Henry's law. Now, according to Dalton, it was concluded that solubility is directly proportional to partial pressure of the gas. Now this solubility, as we have already explained, can be expressed in terms of molarity or mole fraction. So we can also give Henry's law as the mole fraction is equal to Kh into P, or the mole fraction is expressing solubility, and pressure Pa are directly related to each other, and Kh is the Henry's law constant. Here one thing to be noticed is the unit of Kh. As mole fraction is having no units, so Kh has the unit of ATM inverse or bar inverse. If we take the relationship partial pressure is directly proportional to the mole fraction, then it comes out as partial pressure of the gas is equal to Kh into Xa. Now the unit for Kh comes out as ATM or simply bar. So these two different units are required in numerical problems. So if it is a relationship between mass of the gas and pressure of the gas, then we should take the relationship M is equal to Kh into P. If Henry's law constant unit is given in terms of pressure inverse, then we have to take the relationship number 2, that is Xa is equal to Kh into Pa. If unit for Henry's law constant is given in terms of pressure only, then we should take the relationship P is equal to Kh into Xa. We'll take the difference between all the three relationships in different numericals in the next video. Now the graph for Henry's law. If a graph is plotted between pressure and mole fraction, then it's a straight line passing through the origin such that the slope is Henry's law constant. It is observed that Henry's law constant, if found more, it expresses that solubility for the gas is more. If Kh decreases, with the increase in temperature, it indicates that solubility decreases with increase of temperature. Now the limitations. Henry's law is applicable only when the pressure is low and temperature is high, creating the conditions such that the gas behaves as an ideal gas. And it is known to all of us that a gas behaves as an ideal gas at low pressure and high temperature. The second limitation for Henry's law is that the gas should not undergo any compound formation, or it should not react with the solvent liquid. There shouldn't be any compound formation, or there shouldn't be any association or dissociation. So association is ammonia when dissolved in water, it gives ammonium hydroxide. This is gas, this is liquid, and this comes out as aqueous. Dissociation is HCl gas, applications of Henry's law. First application is, or Henry's law is utilized in the production of carbonated beverages. To increase the solubility of carbon dioxide in soft drinks, the bottles are sealed under high pressure. When the bottle is opened, the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide gas decreases and carbon dioxide bubbles out. The second application for Henry's law, it is utilized in the deep sea diving. The third application is the functioning of the lungs. When air enters the lungs, partial pressure of oxygen is high. This oxygen combines with hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Partial pressure of oxygen in tissues is low. Hence, oxygen is released from oxyhemoglobin, which is utilized for functions of the cells. So, second one is the third is